Welcome to another episode of Dox'n Reality, and I'm your host, Mr. Paradox. Now, in order to get caught up on all this at once, so I'm not just having to make separate videos all the time, I'm just gonna throw all this into this video, and hopefully, y'all follow along and just absorb all this information. This is quite a bit to get to. Let's go right on over to it. Australia, largest state, reports zero COVID cases, but urges thousands of people to get tested. Why the fuck, if you're not having any cases, why the fuck do you need people to get tested? I heard when they, take that test, they're swabbing it all the way up your nose and whatnot shit and, getting DNA from you. So if they're getting all this DNA or RNA and all, whatever the fuck they're using, what the fuck are they using all of that for? And if you willingly give them your DNA and they manage to somehow make money off your strand of DNA, then that's on you. Like, stop giving these motherfuckers more information to use against you. Let's see. Australia's most populous state, New South Wales, on Monday reported zero local coronavirus cases for the first time in 3 weeks, as Sydney battled multiple outbreaks and authorities urged tens of thousands of people to get tested. It's always these damn authorities. Daily testing numbers have dropped to around 20,000 in the last 2 days from a peak of about 70,000 recorded on Christmas Day. What the fuck are y'all? People are not getting tested in that many numbers. I can tell you that shit right now. You can go ask 10 people. Probably 9 out of 10 people are gonna tell you they did not get that test. The media is just constantly just blaring this lie out that that there's a virus, but I don't think it's aimed toward people right now. It's aimed at who's gonna be reading these history books after us. So they're gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, how the fuck did this happen?" 'Cause I think it's just like the gradual dumbing down of each generation after the next. They posted all this shit, so when people look at COVID-19, they read these articles, but they don't know anything. All they know is what they read because they're probably not gonna be informed. You're gonna hear about this shit in textbooks, and they're gonna whitewash the shit out of this. I can tell you that. Then they're gonna make anybody who refused to take a vaccine or who didn't social distance, they're gonna make them out to be bad guys, like they always do in history. Victory. The victor always writes history in his or her favor. Let's see. Yeah, 70,000 on Christmas Day. The overwhelming majority of tests are in the state capital, Sydney. So people get tested. They can fake the numbers if you take the damn test. The numbers are far too low. If we're going to succeed in staying ahead of the COVID pandemic, and they keep calling it a pandemic as if it's a real fucking thing, testing is crucial in large numbers so we can be confident of the data when we're making decisions. Authorities have imposed mandatory masks in indoor spaces and on public transport from Monday for Sydney's 5 million residents or face a spot fine of $154. Oh shit, my bad. Yeah, that's what happens when that's maritime law right there. The fact that they can compel you to do shit, but then just challenge the jurisdiction of their ability to even hear the case, and that shit goes out the window. Uh, New South Wales officials have rejected calls for mandatory face masks since the pandemic started, and the change of policy follows the latest Sydney outbreak, which seems to be highly infectious and ahead of a what expected to attract 24,000 spectators. They're like, man, we ain't doing that shit. Matter of fact, we got a tournament. We're expecting all these folks to come here, so yeah, we'll be all right. 2 cases linked to Sydney's fresh cluster centered around a liquor store were recorded after the daily deadline of 2000 local time. These will be added to Tuesday's tally. Low single digits. Man, I'm getting tired of reading all this shit. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm tired of reading all that shit. Right, reading these damn articles back to back is mind numbing because it's just so much language up in here that just jumps out at you, and a lot of it is just kind of repeating itself, but with a slightly different twist. I can understand why people hate reading, especially when you read too much and then you know all the shit is just bullshit, and then they use like so many words to make themselves sound intelligent when all you're doing is just what you know. You got to read the shit like 6 or 7 times, but I'm reading this in front of a camera in order to not appear stupid. Yeah, that's like, yeah, okay. So long story short, the largest state reports zero cases, want people to get tested in order to, fudge the numbers. People aren't testing like that. So, okay. COVID-19 vaccine rollout has fallen short of expectations, raising questions about 2021 timeline. State and vaccine experts say they aren't worried yet, but money is an issue. If it's really about public health, what the fuck does money have to do with all this shit? Why even bring that up as a factor? The vaccine rollout moved slower than expected, stroking fears that the federal government was mishandling the effort and people had to wait months longer than expected to get their shot. I don't see lines of people outside places to get these fucking shots. I don't. Federal officials defended the program, insisting that bringing the vaccine to people in less than a year was still a technical feat and the program remained on track. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're gonna say that shit. Still, they acknowledged the effort was lagging behind expectations, and so when people don't take the vaccine, you just blame it on well, some other things have happened. They just don't want to admit that people are finding out about their here. They can't say that shit. Otherwise, people catch on and it loses fire, but they're not gonna do that. Still, they acknowledge that effort was lagging behind expectations, and vaccine experts and public health officials warn the bigger test will come next year when the inventory finally expands and the broader public raises their hands for a shot. They're expecting demand to raise, probably because they're gonna do some fuck shit. They might actually shit. They might actually drop like something that actually does kill you, something that is lethal. They might just so you know they can like herd you into taking that goddamn shot. It is really difficult to administer every dose when you are prioritizing it and trying to avoid waste. All these executive directors, all these goddamn titles. When we get into a position of mass clinics and everyone has access, we'll be much more efficient in getting it out. Donald Trump had initially pledged 300 million doses by 2021. Hmm. When announcing Operation Warp Speed, then later this fall dropped the estimate to 100 million after Pfizer adjusted its production estimates. Health Secretary Alex Azar promised 40 million doses on hand and 20 million vaccinations by the end of the year. Instead, the administration was on track to ship those 20 million doses by the first week. Enough for first doses in the two-dose vaccine, with only 2.6 vaccinations recorded by the federal government. You gave them the information, and then there's his number 26. If you want to go look up Gematria Effect News and get Zachary K. Hubbard's book, there's a special meaning behind that number 26. Trump blamed the states for not moving fast enough. The federal government has distributed the vaccines to the states. Now it's up to the states to administer. Get moving. Yeah. Just hours later, Trump's top scientific advisor on the vaccine program, I'm not even going to pronounce that, acknowledged the numbers lower than what we hoped for. Like, damn, I thought these people would have been scared enough to take this shit. But so I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon they start a total information blackout, or if they, fire off that EMP and simulate a whole war thing. And amidst all this chaos, they go up in there and sweep the shit out of anybody who resists. So that way, the only people that are left are unquestioning sheep who will bow down to whatever new authority is in the way. Conspiracy theorists, well, it's really not a conspiracy theory anymore. I mean, they're pretty much outright telling you what they're gonna do. At this point, if you don't believe, then it's because you don't want to believe, and there ain't shit I can do to help you. There is a learning curve in the system. Vaccine experts and public health officials say they aren't ready to sound the alarms just yet, but they are citing numerous smaller logistical challenges that have complicated the rollout. A vaccine that has specific handling requirements and hospitals that must stagger injections for frontline hospital employees based on the latest shipment numbers. They word this shit in such a way that you gotta read this shit like 10 times. They can never keep this shit simple. They make it so where people hate fucking reading, so that way they can just bypass information onto you because they keep overusing the words experts, vaccines, public health officials. How many times have they used that shit in just the past few paragraphs? Then how many times have you heard the word administration, advisors, scientific, and all that acknowledged? It's like these people like they pick a couple of words from college and keep just spamming those fucking words over and over again just to seem intelligent when all it does to the average person is just make them like not want to hear shit that comes out of this article. And they go on and on about shipment numbers and all this other shit. Well, what pretty much the question was, why aren't the question being asked is why aren't this many people taking the vaccines? That is the question being asked, but they go all and on in a roundabout way to explain why people aren't taking it. The simple answer is people don't fucking trust it. Like that's pretty much what this article is attempting to answer, but they're doing it in such a long-winded way that it just it comes off as uh, condescending in a way. Yeah, man, I think I'm done reading these damn articles, man. These shits get on my nerves. Yeah, these articles are getting on my nerves, bro. Like they really are. They talking too much. They're talking to the reader as if they're better than you, with using overusing all these big ass words that don't need to be there. It's annoying, but I hate reading these fucking news articles, bro. I really do. But that's all the time I got for this episode. Actually, that's all the stuff I'm gonna do for this shit for right now, cause I'm kind of annoyed. But to tune in for more episodes of Dox'n Reality. I think I'm just gonna go back to doing regular shit for right now. So stay tuned. It's Paradox over and out.